Every morning, before a mongoose family is ready to begin its day, a bird is already waiting outside. The southern yellow-billed hornbill has arrived early. It calls toward the entrance of the mongoose's shelter, and if the family is slow to respond, the bird can become surprisingly persistent. For the mongooses, there is no great urgency. They emerge in their own time, warming themselves, grooming, and preparing for another day on the African savanna. But the hornbill has a reason to be impatient. Its breakfast depends, at least in part, on what happens next. Once the mongooses begin moving across the ground, they search constantly. They sniff through dry soil, investigate cracks, push through grass, and dig into places where small animals may be hiding. Each disturbance changes the ground around them. And that is exactly what the hornbill has been waiting for. As insects and other small prey are forced from cover, the bird follows close behind, taking advantage of opportunities created by the mongoose's work. The mongoose family is searching for its own food. The hornbill is searching too, but instead of doing all the digging itself, it allows another species to reveal what is hidden. At first, this might look like a one-sided arrangement. The mongooses do the work. The bird takes some of the reward, but the relationship has another side. While the mongooses keep their attention close to the ground, the hornbill can watch from a different position. Its eyes move across the grass, then upward. Because on the savanna, finding food is never the only problem. Something else is always searching too. High above, a martial eagle appears. The feeding routine changes immediately. The hornbill detects the danger and gives a rapid warning. The mongooses stop. For a moment, breakfast no longer matters. They listen. Then the entire family rushes toward shelter. No fight is necessary. No animal needs to confront the predator. The warning itself has changed what happens next. The hornbill has gained feeding opportunities by staying near the mongooses. Now the mongooses have gained something that may be even more valuable: information from above. Two species with very different bodies are solving different parts of the same survival problem. One searches below, one watches beyond. When the eagle finally leaves the area, the tension fades. The mongooses emerge again. Almost immediately, the routine resumes. They return to the soil. They dig. Hidden insects become exposed. And once again, the hornbill is nearby to take advantage. It would be easy to end the story here. A bird gets food. A mongoose family gets an extra lookout. A simple exchange between two species. But later, the network becomes more complicated. Another large animal appears nearby. A warthog. At first, the mongooses react cautiously, but this animal represents a very different kind of opportunity. The warthog spends much of its life close to the ground and regularly coats its body in mud. That mud can help protect its skin and cool its body. But when it dries, folds, and cracks, can become places where ticks remain hidden. For the warthog, these parasites are an irritation and a burden. For a mongoose, they are food. The mongooses move closer. Soon, some climb onto the warthog. They search across its shoulders, back, and neck, picking away ticks with their teeth. Now the relationship has shifted again. The mongoose is no longer simply the animal disturbing insects for a following bird. It has become the forager benefiting from another animal's parasite load. And the warthog, simply by allowing the mongooses to feed, can lose some of those unwanted passengers. Three animals. Three very different ways of surviving. The hornbill gains opportunities from the movement of the mongooses. The mongooses gain food from the ground and can respond to warnings from above. The warthog becomes another feeding opportunity while potentially receiving relief from parasites. None of this requires a plan. The hornbill does not need to understand the warthog's problems. The warthog does not need to understand why the hornbill follows mongooses. And the mongooses do not need to think of themselves as the center of a network. Each animal is simply responding to food, danger, and opportunity. Yet their behaviors overlap. And where they overlap, one species can change the chances available to another. That is what makes cooperation in the wild so easy to misunderstand. It does not always look like cooperation. Sometimes it looks like competition for a beetle. Sometimes it sounds like a warning call from a branch. Sometimes it is a mongoose standing on the back of a warthog, searching through dried mud for ticks. The connection only becomes clear when the entire day is viewed as one system. A bird benefits from a mammal disturbing the earth. That mammal benefits from a bird watching the sky. Then a much larger mammal becomes part of the same chain through the tiny parasites living on its skin. Nothing here is perfectly balanced. Nothing guarantees that every encounter will end the same way. But survival rarely depends on perfect partnerships. Often, it depends on small advantages, repeated again and again. A meal that was easier to find. A parasite that was removed. A warning that arrived a few seconds earlier. On the African savanna, animals may live separate lives, yet their survival can still become connected. And sometimes, the creature that sees the world differently is the one that reveals an opportunity another animal could never find alone.